It's been just a shitty day. I don't know why it is, like, whenever I lose a lot of sleep, and then whenever I start getting more sleep, for some reason, I'm more tired than I am when I'm losing sleep. Like, if I get 5 hours of sleep every night, I kind of feel like shit, but it's almost like I feel like shit because I think I should feel like shit. But then I pop off and get like 7 hours of sleep one fucking night, and I feel like shit. I'm fucking exhausted. So I'm going with another one of these Plan B videos today. You'll have to excuse me. I'm sleepy, and I can't put in the work to do what I really wanted to do for like the last 2 days. I'll admit, yesterday's video, kind of a Plan B. The next video I'm going to do, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time, and I'm going to have to actually, it's going to take work. So I want to do it, and I'm going to do it. This time I'm going to do it. It is not going to go into the on deck folder where it's just going to go die. That has become my graveyard. Something sits for me to do long enough that I go, alright, I got too much shit in here, now I gotta get rid of some shit, and then I throw it up into the on deck graveyard where it goes to die. So that's where the State of the Union has gone. That's where so many things have gone. But this will not. And I'm going to give you guys a clue, a hint, just a little hint, and this will force me to do it. Ready? Just a hint.
This is Piper.
Yeah. That's your only hint. Some of you, I have a lot of ladies in the audience, and you might have got that it was more than a hint. But believe me, the guys didn't notice anything other than the titties. It's just a hint to them. So, but what I'm going to talk about today is, somebody asked me what I thought about the Michael Jackson documentary. And I said, what about it? She said, just kind of generally want to know what you think. And I said, I like documentaries. Like, I didn't know anything about the documentary. It wasn't like I was waiting for it to come out. But today, I found out that they made a documentary on Michael Jackson talking about all of the kid touching and stuff. And I'm kind of like, you know, so, like, I knew that shit years ago. We all kind of knew that shit years ago. He got on a trial for it and shit. There was a big thing, a big to-do. And, I don't even remember if he was found guilty or whatever, but he fucking died. So he's dead. I mean, hey, man. You make whatever documentary you want on whatever it is you want to make a documentary on. If every 10 years somebody wants to make a Michael Jackson Touch Kids documentary, alright, but you're not really going to expose anything new, and I really don't have any interest to see documentaries on shit that I lived through. Like, pretty closely. I paid a lot of attention to the Michael Jackson thing when it was going on, because it was crazy. He was like, fucking... I remember one time, like, he had one of his bodyguards, like, carry him into the fucking court. He was a weird guy, man. Michael Jackson, he was very talented. He was an amazing performer, great songwriter, great singer, great dancer, and fucking off his rocker like you wouldn't believe. I remember seeing I think it was 60 Minutes. It was Mike Wallace interviewed him from a tree. Not Mike Wallace was in the tree interviewing Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was in the tree being interviewed by Mike Wallace. Michael Jackson they're going around Neverland, and he fucking climbed a tree. Just out of nowhere. And he's just sitting up in the tree, and he's like, you just sit in the tree, Mike? And Mike's like, yeah, he's in his tree. And he's like, oh, okay. So they just talked about fucking sitting in trees and shit. Like, it was really weird. It was a really weird fucking segment. I think it was on 60 Minutes. Pretty sure. Probably 60 Minutes, because my dad always made me watch fucking 60 Minutes. So, that's probably where it was. But yeah, it was fucking weird. They went to the store, and like he was pointing at all this odd furniture and these weird statues. He's like, I bought one of those, and I bought 3 of those. And I'm like, okay. And then they, afterwards, or like I think it was through the course of all that, the voiceover comes on. And he's like, yeah, this is all bullshit. He couldn't afford any of this stuff because Michael Jackson is pretty much fucking broke at this point. Like, I don't know, it was weird. It was really weird. But so they made a documentary about Michael Jackson and all the shit that was going on. I guess it's like Escape from Neverland or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, made a documentary. Like, dude's dead. They certainly weren't breaking any fucking news. Everybody knew. I think that when he died, we all kind of went, oh, well, there's the end of that. And now I'm bringing it up again. And I'm not offended by it. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think that they shouldn't have made it. I just kind of go, Alright. Like, I'd rather watch documentaries tell me about shit that I don't know. Like Blackfish. That was a fucking good documentary. But, yeah. What I do think is odd, though, is that now all of a sudden, apparently The Simpsons are taking out of rotation the episode that had Michael Jackson in it. And that's really weird to me. And I guess radio stations now are not playing Michael Jackson music anymore. That's really weird to me. I think that there's a point where we should be able to remove the artist from the art. You know what I mean? I understand the whole concept of we don't want to pay for the product of a bad person's art so that they would profit somehow from it, or from us, or whatever. But again, I like Princess Mononoke. I don't give a shit that the guy who produced it was a very, very bad guy. Because there were a lot of good people that worked on it, and animators that were good people, and voice actors that were good people. You're telling me that the many are outweighed by the one. And I don't agree with that. Just like Michael Jackson's music, I think Michael Jackson pretty much made all his music. Like, I think he did all the music and everything. But, whatever. He's dead now. You're not supporting Michael Jackson in his kid-touching ways anymore. You're now supporting those who benefit off of his estate, his kids, the children. Poor little blanket. So, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta kind of be a little bit realistic about this shit. And I also don't think it's a good idea to get rid of Michael Jackson. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to ignore the fact that the man ever existed. I don't think it's a good idea to write him out of the timeline. That's some fucking weird ass shit. That's some, like, I don't know. That's some evil people shit. We're gonna not only get rid of you, we're gonna get rid of all of you. We're gonna make it like you never existed. I don't like the idea that people exist, and other people existed, and it's weird to have the party of "Don't tell me I don't exist" now deciding who gets to exist. It's another one of those little hypocrisies that I love to point out. It's just odd to me. The complaint about transgender people always say, you don't get to decide whether or not I exist. Well, how the fuck do you people that are of that kind of, obviously this isn't transgendered people, But it's like people that are of that kind of, you know, that hear that and go, yeah, you can't tell her she doesn't exist, or he doesn't exist, or they don't exist. And now they're like, but we can certainly say that this motherfucker doesn't exist because we don't like him. I don't know. It's just really weird because it all kind of comes from the same fucking mindset. You know, it really does. It all comes from that same wackadoo. Whenever I think it's a bad thing, fuck it. Whenever you think it's a bad thing, I may or may not give a shit because I might think it's a good thing. Like socialism. People think socialism's a good thing. I don't. But fuck me, because people that think socialism's a good thing have power. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. Like I said, I'm very tired. But yeah, I don't give a shit that they made a documentary about Michael Jackson. Probably not going to watch it because I have better things to do with my time. I lived through it. Don't need to watch the documentary. Just like I really enjoyed watching the documentary about OJ. I really enjoyed watching the documentary about OJ because when that shit was going on, I was like 16, 17. So it's interesting to see that shit with adult eyes. The whole thing with Michael Jackson, I almost said McDonald. The whole thing with Michael Jackson is, I was an adult then, and I ain't gonna see it any different now. So I don't give a fuck. But whatever, they can make it if they want to, and good on them. You know. Again, I don't understand the point to it, but whatever. I'm not the only person in the world, I guess, and there are people who lived through that shit when they were young, and they probably want to see it with more adult eyes now. Fantastic. No, you can't. So there you go. That's my review of the Michael Jackson documentary. I don't care. Didn't watch it. Not gonna. Go to bed.